Hey party people, welcome to Solo Chat. We are on episode, I think, 4, okay? So we're on episode 4, otherwise I got it wrong and I'm gonna have to edit that. Maybe not. Maybe not. I want this one to be more relaxed and chill so we can get through all that editing stuff and just talk about games. But anyway, today, this episode, we're gonna be talking about two actual games. We'll show you a little bit of overview type stuff. And then also we'll be talking about some of the games I'm gonna be targeting at Essen. No, this year I'm not buying 40 plus games. I learned my lesson from last year. My wallet hurt from not only buying the games, but shipping. I'm trying to warn you, do not buy that many games. It's not that serious. Trust me, you ain't missing out on much because I ended up selling most of them. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, we're gonna go into a couple overviews. How are you doing? How did you like the last Solo Chat? Let me know in the comments below and let me know your favorite flavor of ice cream. I don't know why I said that. I just run with it here, okay? So, like I said, today we're gonna be covering a couple things. One of the games happens to be, I'm taking a look at it right now. It is called Satori. Okay, Satori is a game for 1 to 4 players. Now, this game is coming out at Essen. It is by Pero Loco Games, and I'm going to have a Just Played that kind of covers the game as a whole. It covers a full overview of the game, but it covers it in a more, just kind of a full overview. Who's it for, who's it not for. So you can get a gist of that, but I'm going to be showing the solo primarily here. As a matter of fact, I comment on the solo on that video, but it walks you through all the rules. I'm going to be showing you some solo stuff. So let's just get to it. So here is Satori. It is about, it's Japanese culture. So it's talking about enlightenment, and you're having these different worshipers come out every round. They're like monks. They come out every round, and you're going to be placing them out, and notice how they randomly came out. So I don't have a specific color I'm looking at here. So they'll come out, and we are supposed to place them in these altars so that we can take actions, and those actions can lead to movement out here to kind of enlighten our monks. They can give us a bunch of resources. They can help us build this building right here. I just noticed there was a piece that's not there. That just shows you how much I plan all this stuff. Or you can start building buildings to make this better. But in this game, there is an AI, kind of a reaction AI kind of thing, where just the game just reacts to you and then you take actions. I wish there was a deck, but we'll get to that. So basically what you're doing your turn is you're trying to play things that match the colors here, and then what you do is you place that, and you can play colors that don't match, and I'll tell you why you want to play ones that do match. So for example, I can play this one and take the action on the left or the right, okay? But if I play something that matches, I get to play both sides. Okay, so that's one of the things you do in the game. So you have, like I said, different actions that move around these dials, and we'll kind of get into that a little bit later. But generally you can just grab resources. Now what happens is the AI does something in response to that. If you don't play something that matches it, then it gets a benefit, okay? So it will get a coin instead of you, okay? Now, if you play something that, matches, it doesn't get anything. So all these little things right here are actually reactions to what's going on. So then what happens is the AI will go to the bag and draw something from the bag, and then it will take the action above your action or below it, depending on which column you're in. And then it will either, if it matches, it will take this benefit, it'll take this benefit and this benefit, but if it doesn't, it just takes that one. And what it's doing is it's trying to accumulate resources. That's what it does in this game. It's going to kind of try to get these roofs. They're going to get these roofs as resources as well, and they're going to add a whole bunch of points at the end of the round. That's all I'm going to talk about as far as the AI go, because it's reactions. But what are you doing? So, for example, you can start building up this this pagoda right here. You can assist this architect here, and what you're doing is you're taking actions that say something like add to the pagoda over here and put out a monk. So I'll kind of attack both of those at once. You have these monks out here. These monks, they're placed out here in this kind of out in the mountains. And what you're doing is you're trying to move this track into your guys and get them enlightened so that you can get these roofs. And the roofs have different ways you score points. So if you have the resource, you get the points. Okay, you get the points. And then you also get the resources as well. But sometimes that can lead to additional actions. So let's just say I went back this way and I paid the resources. Well, I get an emerald, but I also get to move another sun, which could move into this guy. And then I get that, I get enlightened by this guy, I pay my resources again. Let's say I pay these 2 coins here, then I get another point. I get to place another monk. Maybe I place the monk right here. And then when I get the monk, it also says I get to move a sun. Let's say that monk is right there. What do you know? I get to move this one here. So you're basically trying to create this engine on a turn that's very pleasing. And that's the type of games that I look for, something that's really gives you like kind of a reward loop that you got going on there. But also you are still contributing to this, and I'll tell you why. You're going to be adding rooftops, and that's how you get these rooftops. They become rooftops on the other side, and you're going to be paying the cost and adding rooftops to this thing. And also you can pay to get the bottom parts up too. And when you flip them, you get points, but these kind of like foundation pieces kind of come up, right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to pay those resources, and you're going to take this one right here, the Jokoro action, and then you're going to put your Jokoro on there by paying the resources, and then that establishes, and I'm just going to put a couple on here, so you can see what's going on. What's the move here? What are we doing? Okay, so we'll put some on there. Put a couple on there, that way you can see. Okay, what I'm talking about. Okay, cool. Boom. All right. There you go. So what are we trying to do? Ultimately, when this thing goes up at the end of the game, when we have to score, you'll be taking how many of these you have multiplied times how many of the Jokoro that you have. So it's one of those things where in the multiplayer game, it's really interesting because you're trying to build up together almost so that you can get more scoring multipliers on this one. And this one, you're up against the AI who just builds. It just builds, and doesn't score. Doesn't have to pay resources. So it's just scoring like crazy, puts a lot of pressure on you. Another cool thing that you can do in this game is you can start to pay to build these places. And when you build them, they become your own. So now you have some ownership of things that are happening on the board. Now, you're going to be putting that on there. You'll be putting a piece on there. So you're kind of building your own space, and you're hopefully making it more juicy so that the AI can use it. Because if you own it and you have a Jokoro, it will move you up this thing called the offering track. Now, the offering track is going to give you benefits. You spend it, you get that ability. But here's another interesting thing that goes on. Every time you take a turn, you can decide to use your palm of hand. You'll spend this incense, okay, it's like a kind of like a trigger thing, and you can take one of the actions down here at the bottom. So every turn, as long as you have this incense, you can essentially take 2 turns every turn. Even though it's just one thing, you have an opportunity to take 2 turns every turn. It's a really interesting game overall. Hopefully I give you a good overview of what's going on in this. Of course, it's beautiful, and you have to decide whether you like. It's beat the game, but the game plays a little bit off of you. That's something that I kind of generally enjoy, especially when it's really just beat your own score in a sense. There's no like, hey, this is 5 levels, small campaign. Usually, and I'll just give you a suggestion, if they have like general scores, I try to play 5 games and then add up my score. It's like a thing that I make like a mini campaign, or I'll just do 3 and then I'll see what my score is. Or I'll just say, hey, the score is 100. How close did I get to 100 each game? 300 each game. So then if I beat 300, then I win. So it's just kind of a get good way of doing it. But if you beat the AI, you know, that's the type of game. This is the type of game you're going to get. Let me know how you feel about it in the comments below. Hopefully I gave you a good overview. This is coming out of Essen. Shout out to Pearl Local Games for sending this game so I can cover it. If you really want a full overview of it, take a look at the the Just Played of it. That's going to be launching probably the same day. Who knows? But it will be before Essen. Let's go ahead and get to my other game. This is the Lost Ruins of Arnak Expansion that just came out, The Missing Expedition. Let's do it. So I have nothing on the table, and you're probably thinking to yourself like, okay, so what are you going to do here, buddy? I'm going to talk about the new Lost Ruins of Arnak, the Missing Expedition. That's what I believe is what, yeah, the Missing Expedition game. I have it over here off on the side here, as I was playing it this morning, and I just want you to, the impact of expansions is just, it can be huge for a game. Lost Ruins of Arnak is one of my favorite deck builders of all time, if not my favorite. Thinking about the Retire Aeon's End as my favorite deck builder of all time. I think it's going to move back a slot. And it was actually when I was playing this morning, I started to play the campaign, and I just said, you know what, this is my favorite deck builder. Like, it just came out of me mentally. I was like, yeah, well, when I play solo games, I talk to myself. I'm like, this is my favorite deck builder. Yes. So maybe the coffee got to me. I have no idea, but whatever. So Lost Ruins of Arnak, when I first played the game, just overall, a couple years ago, I said, this game needs an expansion. It was day one. When I got that expansion, more characters, more of what I want, then I said, this one needs like a campaign expansion. And I went and got the campaign, and I printed it out, even put it on binding and everything. I printed everything out. And then I said, you know what, but it'd be cool if it was official, more official, like full-on campaign. And what do you know? Not only did they give us more characters, but then they gave us a campaign. And they gave us another board, another 2 boards that you can use on the back. Now, I'm just going to give you an idea of what the solo game is like, but also an idea of what the characters are like in this game. So the one that I've been playing with in the campaign is the mechanic, and the mechanic has a wheel. The wheel is where you start to install these pieces on it, and you're going to be moving it around. You're going to be moving those pieces as they move around at 90 degrees per movement. You're going to have an opportunity to get more resources. This is a very straightforward character, and it's actually good for people who maybe, let's just say they skip the other one, the expedition leaders, and they want to just get this one. The character is in good hands. It's because it's very easy to get going with. As a matter of fact, you haven't played Arnak in a while, I would suggest you start with this player because the other one is pretty advanced. It's a journalist, I believe, character, and this character you actually have pieces that are out on the board, and you're going to be trying to write about your experiences. Now, interestingly enough about this one, you have several different tiles. So I think it's like you have 4 double-sided tiles you put inside of your board, and they're going to be different opportunities as you write. You're going to be putting them on the board. You're going to be putting those on the board, and as you fill rows and whole tiles, you're going to get bonuses. So it's a really interesting character, but it's not an easy one to play. And I just thought I would let you know about those characters, but also there are options if you want to just not, if you don't have any other leaders and you want to play with this, you can still play with it. They have some way of making just these general characters that work in that work if you don't have any other expansion, so you can kind of keep up. The other boards that they have for the expansion that are really interesting, and I haven't played with them yet, I'll be honest with you, I haven't played them yet. They are sideboards, and one of them has a really interesting mechanic where it changes how you go up the board, and it has like a waterfall that's like a shortcut there. Really interesting. There's even one that you can spend your little idle tokens to go in a spot, go up a spot. It's really cool. But one of the major points as you add certain cards for specific scenarios and take some out, even from the base game, and then you're adding certain ones, is, just to give you an example, the first mission. In the first mission, you are trying to repair a plane. You're trying to fight off this big eagle. You're also trying to get to the top. But there's also a board where you're a little board that's kind of blocking your vision, and you're trying to get that up. So it's a little bit more complicated. You're spending resources. You have to go back to the same spot 4 times in a solo game, 7 times in a multiplayer game. So it's got these different strategies now. It's pulling you different ways, and it's making you play a specific way. That's what I like about this Lost Ruins of Arnak expansion. It's making you play a certain way. So you may have this kind of notion that I play this the same way, I'm going to be successful. No, you got to think on the fly. You got to learn how to play these scenarios out. They even have those, all the things I said, on a gold card, so you're trying to get those. But then here's another thing. you can expand the story by getting these cards. And these cards are like, let's just call them expedition cards. They go out on the board. And when they go out on the board, you're basically discovering them like you would discover a site, a dig site. And you flip them over and they have choices on them. You have a left instant one, right a little bit later on the turn. But then there's also icons that you can use to upgrade, not upgrade, but tell more of the story in the game. It's a really interesting expansion. I'll tell you right now, it makes Arnak feel complete, and that's the best way I can describe it. It is going to be available, I think, now at retail, but also at Essen. I don't highly recommend this game, this expansion. I think it is a must-buy. If you are an Arnak fan, it is a must-buy, and I will say it is a perfect expansion. It is perfect. It does everything you want. Six episode campaign. We didn't even really ask for that, and we got more of it in an official way. And yeah, it's great. It's just great. I was like, man, I was sitting there playing this morning. I was like, damn, this is it. Like, this is really it. And to have that many characters, if you have everything, just absolutely amazing. Now, I'm going to grab a couple games off my right from behind me and over here, and I'll just show you some of the games that I'm going to be kind of suggesting for Essen, but then also some of the ones that I'm going to be picking up. Hopefully, those help you make some decisions if you are going to Essen or paying attention to things as they come out a little bit later in the year and then next year. All right, let's do it. All right, so Essen, okay, 2023 Essen. There's a lot of games there. 1,200 games, I think, on BGG as we speak right now. I don't care. So I think it's cool that you have a whole bunch of games to look at. You can never see all of them. People are going to be flying to other ones because this is a little bit more not so pared down on rules, but there are some rules there, not necessarily out of control, but there's just a lot more people. It's hard to contain. But I'm going to buy some games. I'm not going to buy all the games like I did last year. I lost a lot of money, partly because I got rid of those games, and thank you for the people who bought them. I hope they work for you. They didn't work for me, most of them. I think I have like 5 from last year. But here, actually, I have 2 of them from, I have one of them from last year right here. I got, looks like Expedition has made the cut. That was another one from last year. But let's go ahead and just start with some of the things that I think, hey, you got to pick these up while you're there. One, you definitely want to make sure you get Revive, okay? It is a fantastic solo game. It is another beat your score game, but this one has some more elements that adds to the game. Not only are you going to get 2, you're going to get 4 more absolutely amazing factions. You're going to have some more stuff for solo playing here, which is very interesting. I can't express enough how great this game is. It is a great game. It got added to my all-time list. I think this game is damn near perfect. Honestly, I really do. For Euro gamers, for people who are maybe not as much Euro gamers, it's just got an interesting thing to it. It has a little bit of a story campaign. It's not really that, they kind of oversold that, but this game is a real slick card game. Aporta Games always coming out with some cool stuff. As a matter of fact, this design team is one of my favorite design teams. I'm really excited to see them, and also at the Chilla Fox booth. We'll see what they come up with this year. All right. So now, Halls of Hegra, I don't even know if they're going to be here, okay? I'm looking for Halls of Hegra, and I am looking for Through the Snow, okay? So those are 2 of these games that I bought last year. This one is about fighting people. You're fighting a units off here. What does it say? Fortress, your command of a group of volunteers fighting numerically superior German forces. This is a solo-only game. I haven't played mine yet, but I know that this publisher, I believe it's Tom Pett, they don't have many games. You're not going to see these out. You're not going to see these, pretty much anywhere in retail. If you can track that down, definitely track this one down. Not even sure if I saw it on the list, but this would be probably an opportunity to take a look at it. Now, Darwin's Journey, if you don't have the collector's edition, I would just tell you, hey, this is an opportunity to do it. This is This is going to be in my top 10 this year. I can tell you right now. For solo play, it was absolutely nuts. Like, this is my Euro. This is the ultimate Euro for me this year. So I played this game for like a week. I played it like 6 times in a week solo, trying to play all the content. I think there's more content that's available at Essen, so definitely check that out. Maybe they have a lot of those little packs. That's the thing. That's what stinks about Essen for other people who don't go, is like they have all these like little promo packs and side expansions that come out, like that Concordia expansion that came out. It was out for like 2 years, and then it finally came to the US. So if you went there, you were like, hey, I got it. I already have it. And that's one of those things that's really gross about Essen is that I have it and you don't kind of thing. It's just like here in America where people can't afford to go to the fairs and they don't have the time, you know, one or both, or they can't afford games as much as everybody else. There's almost like this I have it and you don't kind of thing coming back from Essen. I can't stand it. Anyway, Roll Camera, the publisher here, the guy Malachi, Keen Bean Studios, they usually have a booth by the booth that I'm at, and I'm excited because every year they have more expansions. And this is about movies, and you got this dice placement thing. You got to check this game out. By the way, you can't get that one. Oh my God, here I go, right? Anyway, so this is, I believe it's a deluxe edition from the Kickstarter. But anyway, this is a really cool cooperative game. I would suggest you take a look at this. I think you can get it at retail right now. Hopefully you can find it, maybe seek it out in a trade. This game is the gift that keeps on giving, and they're coming out with little box expansions. I think there's like a Christmas one. There's like a murder mystery one. I'm just going to go back, and whatever ones I missed, I'm just going to go pick them up. Really fun, especially if you like the theme of movies. You remember the game, the movies on PC? If you've played that game, what do you think about it? Let me know. It killed my PC because it was so high on the graphical end. I love that game though. I played it in 10 frames per second motion. Okay, so games that I'm also going to be picking up at Essen, or even playing. I'm going to be playing Dante at the CGS booth. That's their next one. That's the one after their Age of Darkness Chronicles of Drunagar. So I'm going to check that one out while I'm there. I'll be trying to check out Agamonia, which is a big Kickstarter that I played. We did some sponsor content from that. Go check that one out so you can get an idea of what's going on. It's very delayed in Kickstarter. I backed it. Yeah, I'm going insane too. Okay, I'm going insane. We're gonna see what it looked like, see how close it is. You know how they tell you it's close, but it's not. Anyway, Rats of Worcester. Rats of Worcester was something that was explained to me on Chit Chat, and if you saw my surprised eyes as they were explaining it, I followed up and made sure I saw some of the content, and I'm going to buy this day one. It's no question. The Pirates of Maracaibo. Maracaibo is one of my top 15 games of all the time. I believe it was like 10 or 12. It's like 12. This is one of my favorite games of all time. So now they have this maybe a little bit lighter version that's actually played out on cards. And that one I'm really interested in. I hope that one comes over here on the US side a little sooner, but I already have paid for it already. That one in Evenfall, and Orleans, which is the New Orleans, is not solo, which is unfortunate. But I'll be doing Evenfall, which also has a solo. Definitely take a look at our content on that one as well. Earthborn Rangers. Earthborn Rangers is a card game I've been waiting for. This is an LCG. It's a nature-based LCG. If you want to see some coverage on that, go over to Mike at One Stop Co-op Shop. He did a really good preview on it, sold me on that game. It is by the same people, and I believe they're the ones that did Arkham Horror. So if you like the Arkham Horror LCG game, the one that I don't like at all, that I've played like 5-10 times and still did not like it, is my least favorite game of all time. I still have faith in the designers of that. I'm going to play this game. Fingers crossed. It felt different. I saw it. It looked different. It's expensive too. And then I have Evacuation. I played Evacuation with our team when I was up there last time. They have a just played of it. I don't think we have any gameplay of it, a full gameplay of it. It does a really good job of the overview. I'm going to tell you, this might be my game of the year. I think I need to play it again, but it is the type of Euro that I always ask for. When we played the game, midway through the game, they were like, this seems like your type of game. I said, not only does this seem like my type of game, I don't think I want to play it with anybody else except for myself. It is one of the heaviest Euros that probably came out this year, if not the heaviest, honestly, that I played. But I haven't played it solo yet, and I definitely want to go pick this one up. Since it's a Vladimir Suchi game, it might come here a little earlier, so hopefully it's over in the US a little early so you can get your hands on it. But that one right there, with the action economy going on, there's a little bit of a race game going on, and what you're trying to do is basically take actions as sufficient as possible, gather resources on one side of a planet so that you can move off to the other side of the planet, but you gather resources on one side, and eventually the game changes and you're going to be going on you want to get more resources and have them on the other side so you can do things. And if you don't do it right, if you don't take those resources, buy a transport or transports so that you can move things back and forth. Think on Mars-ish, where you have to be able to go back and forth and drop resources in a new planet so you can do more things. You could actually have a really dry last turn. And there's action economy going on there, so definitely an interesting game. Of course, it's a really smart design. This designer is really smart, but there's a lot of things pulling for your attention in this game. I definitely think you should check that one out. I think Slicker Drips has a solo play of that one. I'll probably be watching it, so I'll be prepped on my 12-hour flight all the way over there. So I'll be all prepped up, ready to go, and maybe play it one more time with people, and then I'll play it by myself, because those types of heavy games I like to set out and get them out there. And by the way, just so we cut out a topic, how about this? We cut into a topic. I think that's all the Essen stuff we need to talk about. I mean, some people aren't going, they're not interested. What's your like solo routine? Do you have like a night you play? Do you set up your game the night before? Tell me your stories. Like, what do you do to set yourself up? Do you turn on music? Do you play with or without music? Let me know in the comments below. Like, tell me a little bit about you as a solo gamer. That's what I want to know. I think that's all. I guess for me, when I play bigger Euros or bigger campaign games, I usually set them out the night before, go upstairs, read the rule book, go watch a video on it, and then I come back the next morning, like Saturday morning, and just play. And I mean play like almost all day. Or if I have a solo Sunday, I'll make sure I play that first, and then I'll make sure I play it in the morning again, so I'll have it set up at night, play it late at night, think about it and not sleep well, get up in the morning, play it again, and then I play it and show it to you, and still make mistakes. So those are the types of things that I do. Thankfully I have people, everybody in my house goes to bed at about 9, so I can kind of hang out and do certain things. But those big ones, I need time, they need time and attention. So that's what I do. Definitely still that one. All right, I'm rambling. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for watching. More solo chat, a lot more organized. I'm getting ready for Essen. There's literally games everywhere back here. I got to get my head together because I'm going to come back with some. Yeah, I think that's all that's on my heart and on my mind right now. Take care, party people. You have a wonderful day.